I could have your attention, please, we'd like to call the meeting to order. Tonight, we're very happy to have visitors with us. You're always welcome. I'd also like to ask a personal favor tonight when we do our moment of silence. I'd like us to do it in memory of a person who meant a great deal to this board. He offered sound advice, an intellect, and someone who was always willing to help. He passed away a few days ago, and I think it is altogether fitting and proper that we do this in memory of him. His name was, I have a hard time because it makes me want to cry, but Dr. Stephen Tibbetts. He was a person who lived in Umatilla, and if you don't know him, you missed a treat. But for those of us who know him, we will certainly miss his guidance, we'll miss his kind words, and we'll miss all those things that he brought with him whenever he spoke. So if you would please stand for a moment of silence and the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you for your indulgence. Madam Superintendent, board members, do we have any changes, amendments, additions, or deletions to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
I have one. The agenda was revised August 20th, 2024, with the chair's permission to add item 9.03. A revised HR list and HR addendum was added today to items 901, and the board has been provided a copy.
Thank you, ma'am. We need to approve the minutes from the regular school board meeting held on August 12th, 2024. If there's a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Dodd and Mr. Mathias. It has been motioned and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by our usual sign.
Aye.
4-0, unanimous. I don't think we have any representation tonight, so it brings us to our public input. Our first speaker tonight will be Ms. Shelley Mora. Yes, ma'am, come right down.
Hi, my name is Shelley Mora. This is my 20th year of teaching with Lake County Public Schools. And I was trying to think before I got up here, when was the last time I spoke to the board? I'm thinking 6 or 7 years ago, and some of the same faces. And yet here I am on the same topic, money. Okay, 20 years experience, my master's degree, always marked highly effective, and yet I'm only making a few $1,000s more than a brand new teacher in our county. That's not acceptable. And this summer I had to really ask myself, why am I working for a county that doesn't respect me? You don't respect me with pay. You've taken away communication programs that made our job easier working with our parents and replaced it with a program that most of the teachers don't like and don't want to use. The curriculum and testing are not really, have been changing towards not the best fit for our students, but yet we're still here. And I'm beginning to think it's Destination Lake for the families that are moving here, but it's really not Destination Lake for the teachers that are working here anymore. And that's really sad. Because after 20 years, I put most of my life into it here, and yet veteran teachers are not being treated correctly at all. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Lillian Garback.
Good afternoon. My name is Lillian Garback. I am a second-year teacher here in Lake County, Florida. I am proud to work beside teachers with various talents and years of experience, and I admire the vigor and dedication I have seen them display towards education. However, I am disheartened by the lack of recognition they receive through their compensation despite the many years of experience. As of right now, Lake County is one of the lowest paying districts, while the state of Florida ranks 50th in the nation. There are many teachers, including myself, that have a second job, if not more, in order to feel comfortable in their finances. I believe Lake County has the ability to foster an environment that would allow veteran teachers to feel properly supported through their compensations and working conditions. while giving rookie teachers the security that their future dedication to this county is not in vain. Our impact on the youth of our community is worth your support and is the foundation of our future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I'd like to just make sure that all of our teachers that are present tonight know that you are very welcome. We're happy that you're here. We're pleased that you would take the opportunity to come in and talk to us. We certainly do understand your importance, and we recognize the things that you do for children every day. And please know that does not go unnoticed. We look forward to continuing to work with you to ensure that Lake County is a place for every employee to come and have a great working opportunity and a great place for every child to learn. So please know that the words you say to us, we hear you, we see you. In light of the fact that we have ongoing negotiations, we have to abide by the rules that govern that. But just know that you are appreciated, and we're very happy that you took the time to come tonight. So thank you. We have some other public input. Ms. Letty Ortega. I don't know that you care which order. Do you care which order? Okay. Good evening.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Leti Ortega, a la abuela de Noah Ortega. De la escuela tengo problemas con la principal. Ella pues inventó el año pasado de que yo fui muy exaltada a la escuela. No es verdad. Segundo, ellos estaban jugando, mi nieto y otro compañero, con mi Hackler, y ella inventó que mi nieto lo ahorcaba a su compañero. Ella no estaba presente, yo estaba viendo el juego, a ella, me imagino que mi Hackler le dijo, pero no es verdad. Después, en represalia de que mi hija mandó una carta a Tallahassee, yo estaba de voluntaria en las clases, ella me sacó, dijo que no, razones que ella tenía, que no podía seguir. Después, un compañero ahora le dijo a mi nieto que mi hija era gay. Él es blanquito y mi nieto es hispano, entonces yo veo que hay discriminación. Y la directora, para mí, mi opinión, es una persona sin escrúpulos, porque ella no dice lo que ella no ve, ella lo que le dicen, pero no lo que ella ve. ¿Ok? Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you. We appreciate you sharing with us tonight. Noah Ortega.
One time I was at my classroom. I wanted to get my water bottle. My teacher in second grade said to me, the third grade teacher said to me, this is an example of a bad student. And I was not happy about that. So I went back to my desk. And then the other time was back when I was at second grade. And I was with Miss Hackler and
Just say teacher, okay?
teacher, with another teacher, and we were playing a game of hot potato. My friend didn't have a turn, so he was being sad. So I put my hands on his shoulder and said, "It's okay, Manuel." And then she went up to me and with an attitude, she said to me, "Go back to the sidewalk." And I went to the sidewalk, sitting there, being sad, not happy.
Thank you, Noah. Ms. Karen Ortega.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure everyone knows me because I've been here and I've been trying to get in contact with several of you in regards to different issues that have been arising at Tavares Elementary. And I want to say that I'm very, very disappointed at how things have been handled with my son and another student, and very displeased of how it's been handled. If a teacher makes up stories about children who have disabilities and are minorities, okay, and says something that did not occur, they're in violation of the student code of conduct. I don't understand how you can say that a child choked another child and think that that's okay, and that the parent has to be thrilled at the fact that they're making stories up of their child. In addition to that, Noah wasn't happy with his current teacher for the reasons he just disclosed to you. It took several days, a lot of suffering, and my son having anxiety, pleading with some of you to try to make a change. And in the second day of that class, another student randomly, because the teacher said it was just random, came to say to my son that I was gay. So I don't understand what's going on, what's been taught at the schools, if the schools is not reinforcing what the proper protocols are, or I don't understand how this is happening, okay? Because it's unheard of for me. And my son doesn't have any disciplinary issues. He does have a medical condition, and I don't understand with all of those things that the student has and the parent has openly disclosed, that I have to be here bringing this up with all of you as a very concerned parent, that no one seems to listen to what I have to say. So I would like this issue rectified and those held accountable for the things that they have done to children. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ortega. We do not have an attorney tonight, so I'm assuming we will have no attorney's report. Madam Superintendent, do you have a recommendation on the items on the agenda?
I do. I recommend approval of the consent agenda items 8.01 to 10.05.
So moved.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second by Mr. Dodd and Mr. Mathias. All those in favor, let it be known by a usual sign.
Aye.
This brings us to our discussion agenda. Board members, we need to discuss our internal audit or auditor.
Right, well, I was thankful that the group had sent some of those example audits that we'd asked for. I had a chance to read some of those. I'm not sure how deep y'all had a chance to dive into those. I was particularly impressed with what I'd seen, that I felt like there was a great level of depth. I think there's going to be great value in doing a few audits a mile deep versus a bunch of audits an inch deep. And so I think that, there'd be great benefit. The one in particular that I was thankful they had sent us actually was maybe in regards to your question there about school discipline as a hypothetical. And they give us an example of Volusia County that I read through, and I thought, well, there's a lot of great benefit to that. I'd love to actually come out of the gate with maybe that as well. I know that discipline and support for our teachers is one of the primary concerns that we've heard as of late, and it'd be great to maybe kick off with something like that. And anyway, I see a lot of value in this particular firm.
I agree with Mr. Dodd.
Mr. Brandenburg?
As do I. I thought the workshop information was very helpful, and going through that, and especially in light of going through the couple searches to hire an internal auditor of our own and that being unsuccessful. I think this is the natural next step, and very happy to move forward with RSM.
Well, I concur with the three of you. I think there's some validity to what we're proposing. So, Madam Superintendent, would you please work with staff, with Mr. Ward? I don't know if he's here tonight. He is. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Take a motion from our part to.
Yes,
All right. Do we need to do?
we're open for a motion.
All right. I move we go ahead and engage with contractual negotiations with RSM.
So moved. I second it.
It has been moved by Mr. Dodd and second by Mr. Mathias that we pursue not hiring a person to be our internal auditor, but rather utilizing contractual services. All those in favor, let it be known by a usual sign of aye.
Aye.
4-0. Madam Superintendent, your report.
All right, we have a few letters of condolence that were sent since our last meeting. First of all, to Lynn Anahahi. She is a teacher assistant at Lake Hills. And also to Vale Anahahi, also a teacher at Lake Hills, in the loss of their husband and father, Alpha Anahahi. So condolences to that family. Also to Tara Cox and her family. She is a VE teacher in our ESE department. And she lost her brother, Christopher Cox. You already mentioned this evening the tremendous loss to us as a district and a community and of our dear friend, Dr. Tibbetts. And so condolences have been sent on our behalf to his daughter and to his wife. And as you said, he will be greatly, greatly missed. Just a couple of reminders. First of all, I think the board has been sent a copy of an invitation regarding our upcoming Construction Academy groundbreaking ceremonies. The first one is happening on September 5th in Wildwood. That's for the Leesburg High School Academy. These are all at 8 a.m. And the second one is from Eustis High School. It will be September 10th in Tavares for Eustis High School. Also want to just thank our community partners who make this happen, particularly Romac Building Supply and First National Bank of Mount Dora for all their support with these projects. And we look forward to breaking ground and the follow-up towards the end of the year to hand the keys over to one of the families. So that's always an exciting time. Also want to remind everyone that Friday is a non-student day. This is a day for professional learning, and that Monday we are all closed and all for Labor Day. So a nice long weekend for our students and our staff as well. And also just want to end with a big, big congratulations to you, Ms. Cunningham, on your reelection. We're very excited to continue this work along with you, so very excited. Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Mathias?
So I just want to speak in memory of Dr. Tibbetts and tell a final story. I went to see him on Sunday. He was in hospice care. They didn't know how long he was going to live. But he said to me, the only thing I'd really like to do is to be able to vote. But I'm not strong enough to get there. So on Monday, I reached out to Alan Hayes' office. In the midst of them setting up for an election on Tuesday, Alan Hayes made sure that Dr. Tibbetts had an opportunity to vote, and most importantly, he wanted to vote for you, Molly. So, and he would live to see the results and pass the next day. He was an amazing person, amazing. You know, before each board meeting, we have a moment of silence. And I always asked my dad, who served on the school board years ago, for guidance in hard decisions. And I told Dr. Tibbetts that I would add him to the list. So I'm sure he'll still give me some inspiration as we move forward. That's it.
Mr. Dodd?
Yeah, he no doubt did his homework. Man, he came in prepared to speak about just about every item on the agenda every week. Very, very thought-provoking, too. So quite a loss for the community. Out in the community, Commissioner Sean Parks and I held a government elected officials forum, so to speak, if you will. He and I were there with a multitude of constitutional officers and some members of the Claremont City Council, and a chance for our citizens to come out and ask them questions and also engage in more one-on-one conversations. And we each got an opportunity to speak for like 3 to 5 minutes there at the front. And when I was listing the highlights in preparation, highlights of the district in preparation for that, I really had a hard time constraining myself to 3 to 5 minutes. There's really a lot of exciting things, but some of the things that hit the crowd with the most excitement, they were thrilled about our achievement now being designated as that Space Coast District. So once again, huge congratulations on that work, and just the whole concept of CTE programs and the career academies that we do in our schools is one of those things that folks in the community particularly get excited about, thinking about what sort of pathways exist for kids after graduation. The other big thing that they were very excited about is some new schools on the horizon. Of course, with Kelly Randall, they were very excited about the closing on the elementary property. That is, the gold medal that just keeps on living there. And they were also very excited to learn that we've got a place in our 5-year capital plan for another high school, because goodness knows we need it. Just as we're thinking about all the speakers we've had tonight, I echo Molly's thoughts in welcoming you and thanking you for coming out. Certainly it's always very important for the board and staff to hear from our teachers, and I understand negotiations are still ongoing, so it's difficult to speak to those specifics and not create any sort of unfair labor practices. But my one wondering, outside of compensation and things of the sort, was the communication element that was brought up. And I'm not sure, based on some of the comments tonight, if folks have all the why behind that, all the implications in regards to state mandates for us and how we comply with all of those, and why that change was necessary because of that. And so I wonder, if we're hearing from a couple of folks tonight regarding that, certainly there are many others that are probably wondering. And so I'm just wondering what we can do to try to maybe explain some of that why for folks, and just maybe help people know that the board and superintendent are not here to try to pull tools out of their toolbox, Certainly that's not the intent, but I think maybe if folks had more of that why, maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar. It might be a good reminder as to exactly what changed in terms of state rules and the data sharing agreements and some of that information that we want to pass along, as well as what our plans are to enhance the tools that we do have, and how do we solicit your feedback to make sure that it is a useful tool and something that is of value to you. So we'll certainly work on that, and there'll be some follow-up.
Perfect.
Mr. Brandy Burke?
Well, I had the opportunity Friday before last to go over into Miss Cunningham's district at Mount Dora High School to Miss Mary Ellen Griffith's class for a congressional town hall where students were tasked with balancing the federal deficit. Ms. Strawn was there with me. Elizabeth Emery from LCEA was there as well. And the students really did a good job. They were tasked with the full budget and figuring out what they were going to cut, what they were going to add to, and where their priorities were going to be. And a lot of them what did they do? None of them liked VPK, so they cut that right out the gate. We asked a couple questions there. They believed in strengthening the military, yet also cutting Social Security because it was too expensive, and just so many other crazy things in between. But it was a great morning, very thought-provoking. The students really got into it and understood more of what all goes into making that pie. And I thought it was just a great lesson. So I want to shout out Ms. Griffith for doing that at Mount Dora High. Also want to shout out Pastor Mike Matheny and Church of the Lakes at Leesburg High School. The 2 weekends prior to Election Day, they hosted 2 town halls for the community, one for federal candidates and one for local candidates, and gave the Leesburg community and others a chance to come out, ask questions of the candidates. Those were live streamed and just really provide a lot of good intel there. And last but certainly not least, congratulations to Ms. Cunningham for a very well-deserved, decisive victory. We are all honored to work alongside you and looking forward to 4 more with you. That's all I've got.
I guess I need to do my thank yous first. I heard a national candidate say the other night that I am going to serve you whether you voted for me or not. So that's kind of my stance. I am extremely happy. I have some debts to some people in this room that I probably will never be able to repay, but certainly I am most appreciative to be here with you tonight and to continue to work with these extremely fine people sitting on the dais with me. I think that is one of the things that makes Lake County great. We have wonderful teachers, we have wonderful administrators, we have wonderful staff, and we have some pretty great people that are in charge of making policies and decisions. And with that said, I'd like to close by sharing something with you that I read when I was in college. And it was just a poem on a piece of paper, and it said, "In this life, you meet all kinds of people." And when I tell you this, I'm having reference to Dr. Tibbet. You meet all kinds of people. Sometimes you meet people and you only know them for a short time, and they don't make very much of an impression on you. They just kind of pass through and move on. And then sometimes you meet people and you know them for a long time, but the impression that they leave on you still is not that great because there isn't that much significance about what they share with you. But then every once in a while, you meet someone, and it really doesn't matter how long you knew them. What matters is the impression that they leave on you. What matters is what they share with you. And what matters is how they help you in your life. Dr. Tibbet and I didn't know each other for a very long time, but he is someone that I held in very high esteem. And I have to share with you, because I'm having a hard time now, but it really spoke volumes for me that he would care about voting, and especially for me. That says a lot. So I certainly owe a debt of gratitude to him, and I have to make sure that I not let anyone down, but most especially him and those of you here in this room. So thank you very much. If there is nothing further, we are adjourned.